The one thing I want you to take away from this video is that isolation and reflection equals growth. So I just watched this video from Blueface behind bars. He's actually locked up in prison. Like, I had no idea. This video just popped up on my feed on YouTube, and I clicked on it, and it was only a minute and a half. And I thought he said a lot of like very interesting things. Like, he dropped a lot of gems. Like, he said a lot without saying a lot, and there was a lot of meaning behind it. And one of the big things that popped out to me that he mentioned like 2 3 times was that he learned patience.
A lot, learn, patience, virtue, patience is the key though. Got a lot of patience in here, man.
And I think when you're in prison or you're in a place where you have no control for a lot of external factors, you have to be able to learn patience, because you can't make deciding factors to like change your circumstances, right? So let's say, for example, he has 3 years. There's nothing he can do to make time go faster. There's nothing. Like, he's just stuck behind that wall, clicking away time and just waiting till that time comes up and he finally gets to go home. And I thought it was very interesting because, it puts in perspective how when you're free, there's just so much distraction. There's, your phone, there's the iPad, there's like everyone talking to you, the music, just the things that you're watching. Like, there's all these external factors. But when you're in a place like prison, you're just stuck with your own thoughts. And yes, you may be surrounded by a whole bunch of people, but at the end of the day, you're still, how do I say this, man? You're still alone, surrounded by a whole bunch of people. It reminded me of my time when I was locked up. When I first ended up in prison, I was living in a cell where it's only me and one other person, and we had to get along. And luckily for me, the people that I was, I guess, living with, we were very cool. There wasn't any problems at all. The people I had in the cell, they were a little bit older. Keep in mind, at the time I was only 21. The guys that were in there with me, they were like 35, 45. It was very peaceful. When I say peaceful, most times they were just sleeping, and I'll be working out, I'll be writing, I'll be reading books. So most of the days I'm in my own thoughts. And even though the interview took place outside for Blueface, I didn't go outside much. That is one thing I did not do. I stayed inside most of the time. I just didn't want to be around people. I didn't want to be with the mess. Usually when you're around people, then there's more chances of you being involved in drama. Unless I'm forced to and I have to go outside. Like, let's say there's a ride that's about to pop off, then I'm forced to go and be out in the yard and do my thing. But if not, I'm just inside the jail cell and I'm just doing my time. I'm reading, I'm writing, I'm working out, everything inside there, taking a bath in the cell. And during those moments when I was locked up, I had a lot of time to think to myself. It also reminds me of like when you're in the gym, there's a whole bunch of people around you. You got the music blasting, but guess what? You are in your own head. You are in your own thoughts. That's what it feels like, but just a more violent place. And you just can't go home when you want to go home. You can't eat when you want to eat. Those factors. I think in today's times, we're so distracted by everything, our phones, our iPads, this video that you're watching. Thank you for watching, by the way. It means a lot that I'm able to grab your attention, and you guys are watching this. But we have all these external factors that just bombard us everyday life. Like, focus right now in today's time is so short. The attention span is just jacked up, man. We're screwed. The future generations, we're screwed, man. They just can't get it right. I think in that video, Blueface mentioned that patience was one of the biggest things he learned. I think in there it came from being isolated, because isolation forces reflection without distraction. Reflection, it creates distance between what was and what is without any of the outside external factors. But in doing so, it leaves room for examination. That examination and reflection, it leaves room for growth. That's where you actually can grow. In a world full of distraction in today's times, most people don't go through this process of isolation and reflection. That's why age doesn't always equal maturity. It never does. But I think in this video that I watched from Blueface, this interview, I think that he's matured a lot. He speaks clearly. There's no drugs, there's no alcohol, there's none of that external factors, influencing his thoughts and his behaviors. And I tell a lot of my clients right now, one of the things you can actually do to see where your mind is at, like we see how you're thinking, is open up your phone, open up YouTube, open up Instagram, open up TikTok, any of your social platforms that you're using, and check out your feed. Whatever your feed shows you, like your search bar, whatever, that's what you're actually intaking. Like, see what it recommends, because the algorithms on these platforms, like, they know what we're thinking, man. They know what we're talking about, and it pops up. So take a look and do an audit. See if the things that you're actually like that the platforms are recommending, is it beneficial to you, or is it just wasting your time? It's just endless doom scrolling. That would be a good indicator of whether you're growing or not. But at the end of the day, we need that isolation. We need that reflection time. We need that peace. So one thing I want you to do today is spend at least one day out of the week. No phones, no nothing, no friends, no family, no girlfriend, no wives. Take some time and be within your own thoughts. Find a place where you can get quiet, maybe in the car if you don't have space, maybe in the room, maybe go to the library, maybe go to the park by yourself. But what I want you to do today is find time every single week to be in your own thoughts in silence and reflect on your own thoughts and feelings, man. Because that's where we're going to find growth. That's what you're going to find is calling inside of your heart. And bring a pen and paper. Write down these thoughts and see what really comes up without all the distractions that we have in today's world.